Hi, this is Stuart Connolly from IBM Systems Lab Services, and welcome to the second session of my series of videos about using Ansible Tower and IBM PowerVC to manage IBM Power VM servers. So this is the setup that I currently have. I've got a red Ansible server running on a x86 server, and I've got an IBM PowerVC virtual machine running RHEL on an IBM Power VM server. IBM PowerVC is based on OpenStack, so all the modules that I'll be using today are Ansible OpenStack Modules. The IBM PowerVC server is the one that's doing all the management. It's managing the HMC, the power servers in the background, and the SAN fabric controllers for the storage. The first video I did where I deployed an AX VM was a hard-coded one. This one I'm going to use where it's multiple prompts to be able to pick the OS image, the template, and the network name. So a lot more configurable. So here is my Ansible Tower server. So I'm going to log on as a non-administrative user. So the admin user will have created the template and assigned it to this user. So here's the template I used last time at the bottom, create small AX 7.2 VM. And the one above it, the create new VM. This is going to allow us to create AX, RHEL, SLES, or IBM i1. We look at my PowerVC server, which is the OpenStack server that does the work under the covers, and we look for a VM called, say, let's call this one demo VM1. Okay, so that doesn't exist. We can see that's there. So what I will do, I will launch this template that I've been assigned, and you'll notice the first thing it asks me for is the name of the VM. We obviously have to prompt for that. We can't really have a pull down for that option. So a VM called demo VM1. And here's the images that I want to use. So I've got a number of AIX 7.2, a 7.1 image, I've got a RHEL 8.2, I've got SLES, and I've got an IBM i image listed in this selection. So I'm going to select the RHEL 8.2, then the compute template. So what size of VM do I want to build? So I've got tiny, small, medium, or large, number of cores, virtual CPUs, and memory. I'm going to select small. Which network do I want to use? So I've only got two networks, VLAN 10 and 156. This demo I'm going to use 156. So it gives me a summary of all the information I'm going to use, the parameters I'm going to use, and then I click on OK. And then that gets launched. And we can see here that it's kicked the playbook off, and it's going to create the new VM instance task. So if I go to my PowerVC server now, I'm still searching demo. There we go. It's appeared demo VM1. It's assigned a physical host, Warwickshire, and it's going away and building it. It's creating the volume at the back end. It's creating all the virtual mapping, as we'd expect with the IBM Power VM being controlled by PowerVC. If we look at the Ansible Tower server, we can see that. So it tells us which user's running it, that it's running, the underlying playbook that I'm calling, which is there, and the credentials that I use to communicate with my PowerVC server. Pause that for a few seconds, and then we see that it comes back with the public IP address. I asked it to print the IP address when it had initiated a build, so it tells us the IP address. If we look back on PowerVC now, we should see it being activated. There we go. It's assigned it the information we want, and now it's deploying. So the playbook will pause now while that's getting built, and it will wait for an SSH port to open. So in other words, once it knows the SSH port, then the VM's being built. Again, that will take a few minutes, but I'll pause video. Okay, so that has now come back a minute or so later. It tells us the port's open. The playbook's completed successfully. We can say successful in the top left-hand corner there, and there we can see our VM built and ready to be used. So thank you very much for watching.